I still can't believe this actually happened. One moment, I was chilling in my room, scrolling through my phone, and the next, my brother was standing at my door with that mischievous grin, the one that always means trouble. He had his phone in one hand, our dog's leash in the other, and before I could even ask what was going on, he hit me with, "Come on, we're making a video." Now, if you know my brother, you know that when he gets an idea, there's no stopping him. And when a camera is involved, forget it. You either play along or he finds a way to drag you in anyway. At first, I didn't think much of it. I figured he wanted to do one of his usual prank videos or maybe get some funny clips of our dog doing tricks. Harmless, right? But the second we got outside, I realized this was something different. He had that look in his eyes, the one that meant he was up to something, something that was going to get me in trouble, make me look ridiculous, or both. And judging by the way our dog was wagging his tail like he was in on the joke, I knew I was in for it. I should have walked away right then. I should have said, "Nope, not today," and gone back inside. But I didn't. Instead, I stayed. And before I knew it, my brother was giving me instructions, setting up his camera, making sure the angle was perfect. "Just trust me," he kept saying, which, let's be real, is the last thing you should ever do when someone's holding a camera and grinning like they just won the lottery. And then, boom, the moment happened. 1 second, I was standing there, clueless, and the next, I was caught in one of the most embarrassing, ridiculous situations of my life. All because my brother wanted to get it on camera. Our dog? Oh, he was loving every second of it. My brother? He was practically on the ground laughing. Me? Let's just say if there was a hole in the ground, I would have gladly jumped in. But here's the thing. What happened next? That was the real shocker. Because just when I thought the moment couldn't get any crazier, something completely unexpected happened. Something that changed everything. And let me tell you, if my brother thought he was getting a funny video, he had no idea what was coming next. So, what exactly did he make me do? And how did it all take the weirdest turn imaginable? Well, you're just gonna have to see for yourself. But trust me, you're not ready for this. I was still standing there, my face burning with embarrassment, while my brother laughed like he had just pulled off the greatest prank in history. Our dog, completely unaware of the chaos he had just helped cause, wagged his tail and looked up at me like he wanted to do it again. And honestly, at that moment, I was ready to strangle my brother. But I couldn't even be mad. Not yet. Because I still didn't fully understand what had just happened. "Dude, you should have seen your face," my brother gasped between laughs, holding up his phone to replay whatever humiliating moment he had just captured. That was perfect. I snatched the phone from his hand, my heart racing as I hit play, and the second I saw it, the way I looked, the way it all went down, I felt my stomach drop. It wasn't just embarrassing, it was bad. Like, really bad. And the worst part? I knew exactly what my brother was thinking. He wanted to post it. He wanted to show everyone. "No way," I said immediately, gripping the phone like my life depended on it. "This is not going online." But my brother just smirked. "Come on, it's hilarious. People are gonna love this." That's when it hit me. This wasn't just some random video. This was planned. He wanted this reaction. He had set me up from the very beginning, knowing exactly how it would play out. And now, he was acting like I didn't have a choice, like the video had to go up. I glanced at our dog, who was still wagging his tail like he was proud of himself, and then back at my brother. "You planned this?" I asked slowly. He shrugged. "Not all of it, but I had a feeling you'd react that way." I wanted to be mad, I really did. But a part of me, a tiny part, had to admit it was kind of funny. Still, I wasn't about to let him get away with it that easily. "Okay," I said, crossing my arms. "If you post that, I swear I'm getting you back, and it's gonna be 10 times worse." My brother just grinned. "Oh, now that sounds like a challenge." I should have left it at that. I should have walked away. But instead, I made a huge mistake. I grabbed the leash, thinking I was in control this time, thinking I could turn the situation around. But what happened next? That's when everything really spiraled out of control. And trust me, if you thought this was bad, you have no idea what was coming next. But just as I started to set my plan into motion, our dog had other ideas. One sharp tug, and suddenly I was yanked forward, nearly tripping over my own feet. Whoa! Hey! I barely managed to keep my balance as he took off, dragging me behind him like I was just along for the ride. My brother? He was already recording, laughing so hard he could barely hold the camera steady. Dude, you look like you're in a dog sled race without the sled, he cackled. I wanted to yell at him, but I had bigger problems, like not face planting on the sidewalk. Our dog, clearly feeling the energy of the moment, wasn't slowing down. If anything, he was picking up speed. And then, just when I thought things couldn't get worse, I saw what was ahead. A group of people, watching, laughing, phones out. My stomach dropped. My brother pranking me was one thing, but now I was becoming a full-on spectacle. And if these strangers were recording, that meant this moment wasn't just staying in my brother's camera roll. It could end up anywhere. I tried to dig my heels in, but it was too late. I was already in too deep. And what happened next? That's when things really took an unexpected turn. I had completely lost control. My feet barely kept up as our dog charged forward, dragging me right into the middle of the crowd. My brother was still behind me, recording every second, probably thinking this was the funniest thing he'd ever seen. I, on the other hand, was panicking. People were already pointing, whispering, and, yep, filming. I caught glimpses of their faces, some laughing, some just staring in pure confusion. My brain screamed at me to stop, to do something before this got even worse. But how? Our dog was still going full speed, and no amount of tugging on the leash was slowing him down. And then I saw it. The moment I knew this was about to reach a whole new level of disaster. Right in front of us was a massive puddle, left over from the rain earlier that day. A huge, muddy, impossible to avoid puddle. I had exactly 2 seconds to react. 2 seconds to somehow change the course of this train wreck before it was too late. But before I could even try, our dog made the decision for me. He jumped, leaped straight over it like some kind of action movie hero. And me, I wasn't so lucky. The leash jerked, my feet slipped, and in a blink, I was airborne. Everything slowed down, the crowd gasping, my brother shouting something, the world tilting as I braced for impact. And then, splash. Mud. Everywhere. The sound of laughter erupted around me, louder than before. My brother? Oh, he was dying. And as I sat there, completely drenched, I realized something even worse. This wasn't just funny. This was viral kind of funny. I sat there, frozen, covered in mud, while the laughter around me grew louder. My brother was doubled over, barely able to breathe from laughing so hard. I could already picture the video title in my head. Epic Dog Fails Compilation. You won't believe what happens. The embarrassment was bad enough, but then I noticed something even worse. Some of the people in the crowd were already typing on their phones. Were they posting this? Were they live streaming it? Panic set in. My brain raced with worst-case scenarios. What if this ended up everywhere? What if I became that guy, the one everyone turns into a meme? My brother had pulled some pranks before, but this was next level. And the worst part? It wasn't even over. Just as I was about to stand up and reclaim whatever dignity I had left, I felt a tug on the leash. Our dog was still in go mode, completely unfazed by the disaster he had just caused. And before I could react, he yanked again, harder this time. My feet slipped against the wet ground, and suddenly I was sliding forward, as if the universe had decided I hadn't suffered enough. Then bam! I collided with someone. I looked up, my heart sinking. In front of me stood a woman, probably in her late 30s, wearing an expensive-looking white outfit. Well, it was white. Now, thanks to me, it was splattered with streaks of mud. Her face went from shocked to furious in record time. "Oh, my God!" she gasped, staring at the mess on her clothes like she couldn't believe this was happening. "Are you kidding me?" I scrambled to my feet, my mind racing for an explanation, an apology, anything. I, he. I gestured wildly at my dog, who was happily wagging his tail like nothing had happened. My brother? He was still recording. Of course. The woman turned to him, her eyes narrowing. Are you filming this? My brother, who never gets nervous, actually hesitated. No. He quickly lowered his phone, but it was obvious she didn't believe him. This is not funny, she snapped, glaring at both of us. You think embarrassing people in public is some kind of joke? And then she said the words that sent a chill down my spine. I hope you're ready to go viral because I am posting this. My heart dropped. This lady wasn't just mad. She was on a mission. And worse, she had the perfect revenge plan. If my brother thought his video was going viral, she was about to take it to a whole new level. No, wait, I started, trying to explain. It was an accident, I swear. But she wasn't listening. She held up her phone, aimed it right at me, and started recording. This guy just launched himself at me and ruined my outfit, she announced, her voice dripping with drama. And his brother? Filming the whole thing like it's some kind of joke. I turned to my brother, silently begging for backup, but, big shock, he was still laughing. Bro, I hissed under my breath, help me out here. He finally straightened up, stuffing his phone in his pocket. All right, he said, stepping between me and the woman. Look, we're sorry, it was an accident, and, He glanced at her outfit, clearly trying not to laugh again. Maybe we can, pay for dry cleaning or something? The woman narrowed her eyes. Oh, you think a little dry cleaning is gonna fix this? She huffed, glancing down at the muddy mess on her clothes. This was designer. I had no idea what designer meant in terms of price, but judging by her reaction, it definitely wasn't cheap. And just when I thought things couldn't get worse, our dog, who had been suspiciously quiet, suddenly barked and lunged forward. The leash slipped from my hand, and in one horrifying second, he jumped up on the woman's leg, leaving even more muddy paw prints all over her already ruined outfit. The world stopped. My brother's jaw dropped. The woman let out a gasp so dramatic I thought she might actually faint. And then, out of nowhere, she laughed. Not just a little chuckle, full-on laughter, the kind that made her double over, holding her stomach. Oh my God, she wheezed, shaking her head. This is ridiculous. I blinked, completely caught off guard. Was she actually okay with this? She wiped her eyes, still laughing. You know what? This is too funny to be mad about. She looked at me, then at my brother. But you better send me that video. This is comedy gold. I let out a breath I didn't even realize I was holding. Wait. So you're not going to post a revenge video? She grinned. Oh, I am. But don't worry, kid. I'll make sure you don't look too bad. And just like that, my biggest nightmare turned into the best plot twist ever. I couldn't believe it. Just minutes ago, I was sure my life was over, completely ruined by one bad moment caught on camera. And now, the woman who was ready to make me the next viral fail was laughing with me instead of at me. My brother, still grinning, pulled out his phone again. All right, if we're doing this, we gotta make it good. You gotta introduce yourself to the people. The woman smirked, brushing off some of the drying mud. Oh, trust me, they already know me, she said, flipping her hair dramatically. I had no clue what that meant, but before I could ask, she turned back to my brother's camera. All right, people, let's just take a moment to appreciate this absolute disaster, she said, gesturing toward me and my mud-covered clothes. Sometimes life comes at you fast, literally. I groaned, covering my face, but even I had to admit, it was kind of funny. Our dog, finally deciding he'd caused enough trouble for one day, sat down at my feet, wagging his tail like he knew he was innocent in all this. Which, let's be real, he definitely wasn't. The crowd, still watching, had mostly moved on, but a few people stuck around, clearly invested in how this would end. One guy even came up to me laughing as he showed me his phone. Dude, you already went viral, he said, flipping his screen toward me. And there it was, a clip of me slipping into the mud, already racking up thousands of views. I sighed. Of course I did. The woman patted my shoulder. Hey, at least you made the internet smile today. That's gotta count for something. I glanced at my brother, who was still recording, and shook my head. You better let me approve whatever you post. He just grinned. No promises. At this point, I gave up. The damage was already done. My moment of humiliation was out there, but at least it wasn't as bad as I thought. If anything, it was kind of legendary. As we all stood there, still laughing, the woman gave me a nod. All right, kid, I gotta go get cleaned up. But don't be surprised if I tag you later. I chuckled. Can't wait. And just like that, she walked away, leaving me, my brother, and our dog standing in the middle of the mess we created. I sighed, looking down at my mud-covered clothes. All right, let's go home before something else happens. My brother laughed. Oh, don't worry. Next time I'm the one getting pranked. I smirked. Yeah, you definitely are.